Yes, this is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. Can you imagine? It is another Wednesday night when we come to you with open talk. And I want to welcome you to this program tonight in the name of the Lord. And I pray that you will capture something and that the Lord will speak into your heart in one way or another. Because when the Lord speaks, things change. But you know, in open talk, it's just an open discussion, and it is you talk or I talk, or we hear one another and we move on, and we bless the Lord. And tonight, Joyce and I are together, and we have a very special guest. But before our special guest introduces herself, let me ask you, Joyce, to say Jambo.
Jambo, how are you? And thank you so much for joining us for this open talk. And I want to believe that as you listen to our guest tonight, that you'll pick a few nuggets here and there that can help you or that can help somebody else in your circle. So welcome and enjoy the program tonight.
Thank you so much, Joyce. Now, our special guest this evening is a person that you definitely have met in one place or another. She is a known person in this nation. She is in the media, helping many families and advocating heavily for the man child or the boy child. And that is one that she fights for the forgotten peace. She fights for the forgotten peace. So all the forgotten peace, rise up, get yourself ready. We are in for a cool time. So let me ask our sister Anne Muratha to welcome to the program tonight, and maybe we will start by you introducing yourself, because I didn't want to say much about you lest I miss one thing. Yes. And you know, it is the small things that matter, and I don't want to miss that small thing. So just introduce yourself. There are some who maybe have not met you because of who they listened to, but tonight they have an opportunity to listen to you and to hear the mission that God has put in your life. But introduce yourself first.
Thank you so much, Bishop and Mama. And I want to thank God for giving me an opportunity to be part of this program. I may have a clientele of the people who follow me because I normally teach in Kikuyu. But today I have a big challenge. I'm in the Deliverance Church and I have to do it in English. And
we are Englishers.
And they are Englishers, and they are Kenyans, and they are international, so they do it English. For me, I am confined to a certain region, but today I want to be English. Basically, I am Anne Wajiko Muratha. Actually, it's not Muratha, it's Muratha. Because there are people who call my husband, how are you, Muratha? He's not Muratha, he is Muratha. I'm married to Reverend Muratha, who is an Anglican priest. Been married for the last 24 years. We are blessed with 2 children. And my story is very interesting. Those people who know me as a singer. I am born and brought up in Naivasha town. And everybody around Naivasha town know Wajiko, who was a guitarist and a singer. That's what they know about me. Wherever these other things came from are just by the grace of God. Why boy child, I can't explain. But again, I realized reason I am close to a region. I realized we have a problem in central Kenya with our boy child, both the big and the small, because men are not used to talking a lot about themselves. And I thought God, and I always believe God raises somebody in every generation to do something for him and for a certain cause. So as I was saying, most people know me singing and playing guitar. And professionally, I was a counselor and worked with NCCK for a couple of years. But again, when I got married, I used to get myself into a lot of messes with memos every day of my bosses, of work that was never completed. When I got married, my husband told me, it's only because you are in the wrong profession. Try something that is about talking. Because you talk a lot, try talking. So I asked him, talking about what? He told me, do counseling. You will talk day and night. And this is what I did. And after I did counseling, he opened up my mind. I started looking at life differently. I started seeing things differently. And anytime I went and there was a function and people needed somebody to talk to, I would volunteer to just talk of what I am seeing in the society. So this one afternoon I went and spoke to people at Anne Muratha, and I talked to women. And I told women...
You said you talked to people at an...
At a function. Odhoni is a dowry ceremony.
Okay. Odhoni.
Yes.
Odhoni is a dowry negotiation ceremony.
Dowry
for those of
negotiation
you who may not have
yes,
gotten
I'm still
that.
trying to catch up, but I'm in an English setup. So I went for an Odhoni, and I spoke to families. And little did I know that I was speaking to people there. I talked about women who have oppressed their husbands to a point that they don't realize they're doing it, because the society is like, if you look at the society today, Bishop and my viewer there, you would agree with me. The world now is about women. You go everywhere in parliament, they're talking about women. You go to church, 3/4 of the congregation is women. You go to the chief's offices, most of the chiefs now are women. And it is good, because the society had oppressed the women so much. But again, when the women were given an opportunity, when they got to the level of the boy child, it's like the society forgot they were supposed to move together. Then again, we are in another mess. We are again now trying to bring up the boy again to get to where the girl is. And I think we need to be true to ourselves and tell ourselves there's something that is not adding up. And I think this is what the Lord laid in me, that there is something that is not adding up. And you see, when it is now the opposite of what it was, we are now in a more worse situation, because the man is the seed. And in creation, God made the man as the seed of the family. And don't forget.
Maybe before you get there,
Yes.
You have talked about the oppression of the women.
Yes.
And now the boy child.
Yes.
And you know the pendulum. The pendulum swings to the end.
Yes.
Then swings to the other end.
Yes.
So it looks like the pendulum had swung to the girl's child for a long time.
Yes.
Now it has swung to the boys.
To the girls now.
Yes, and the balance balance is not there.
Yes,
That's
what we are lacking.
I think that's where we need to find out what is missing to bring in this balance, and maybe even before we find out what is missing, we need to find out what is the damage that has been caused by this pendulum swinging to one side and not going back to the other side.
Bishop, when I started doing this, I got employed by a company, the Royal Media Services. That's where I do talk these things. And I've continued doing a lot of research on this. And I've realized, how did we get here? Because I think this is our first question. How did we find ourselves here? How we found ourselves here is, number one, as we continued campaigning for the girl child, we forgot that we were trying to bring the girl to the level of the boy and carry them together. So when we got the girl to the level of the boy, we again ran with the girl. We still forgot the boy and got into the same mess. The mess now is worse, because now when the boy is down there, now we lose the order of God. Because the order of God is, don't forget that the fathers are the only creatures in the world that share a name with God. When we are here, when we look at heaven, we talk of our Father in heaven. When we see the man here, we see our Father here in the world. So when we displace the Father, then we are lost. We do not know where we belong. Now we are in a worse situation than we were when the girl was oppressed. So what I'm trying to campaign for is not really what some people would misinterpret, but it is a way of trying to balance life so that we get into the order of God. And if you look at an ordinary setup of a family today, because of the boys and the way they have been mishandled and the way they have been misinterpreted, most of our boys have become very irresponsible, to a point that now in our culture we have very many single mothers, not by choice, but by an irresponsible man. So out of that, this single child, this single mother, is bringing up a child in a society, in a home of a mother who also is a widow. Reason, you may not tell. Why men die early? We still would want to research why are these older men dying early, so that there is a shosho who is a widow, and the daughter now is a single mother. So this boy is growing with the mother who is single and the grandmother who is a widow. This boy goes to school, class 1, 2, 3. The teachers in class 1, 2, and 3 are women. So this boy again goes to church. Sunday school teachers are women. So this boy has not seen the power of a man anywhere. The boy knows the power of a woman. And this boy continues with a society that is really about talking about women. So we are finding some boys. I always tell people, it's to mwanaume tumejaa umama. Because the boy has grown around women and all he knows is about women. Wait until now this boy matures and marries a girl who's been brought up by a father who says, I am your father. And the girl has seen the authority of a father. Then they get married. The girl wants to see this man leading like his father, like her father, and taking the mantle and the lead. But this boy has not seen a man lead. He has seen women in the forefront. Look at the NGOs we have. They are going to school and call all the girls. They are given sanitary towels. They are given all the innerwears and everything. And the boys are left watching. So it's like the boy is growing up knowing the society is about women. The other day in our church, I told you my husband is a reverend. We had a men's Sunday. And so it was agreed that all the boys are going to sing because it's a men's Sunday. So the reverend calls the boys to come and sing. So when the boys come, you know, in an Anglican church, there is whatever, between the altar and the church, there is a kambao that is around there. So the boys march into the church. They go right to the end, because that is where they belong. The front is for the girls. Because anytime they march coming to the church, we are marching in the light of... The girls are at the front. Beautiful flowers leading. And the boys will come at the back. We are marching, marching, we are... You know, from childhood, it is like our society. We are bringing up our children knowing that our society is about women. And I'm sure I'm talking to somebody who is connecting with what I'm saying. I have a girl now who is in Form 2. There's a time when she was in nursery school, she came and sang to us a song. And she said, Naita, I don't know, Naita joy, shushu joy, anacheza pete, pete anacheza pete, pete anacheza poa. And then she said, Naita gukapita. Now the boys. Gukapita, anacheza pete, pete anacheza pete. Amechanganyikiwa. And I looked at, why is Peter changanyikiwa? So what I'm saying, Bishop, is like these things, we are not doing them with a conscience. It's something that just came. And we are there, and we are ignorant. So what we are finding, and especially I would talk of the Central Province people. I may not have researched a lot about this other, but anytime I speak where they are, people from the other regions, they keep telling me, oh, the story is the same. But if you look at the problem we have now in Mount Kenya, our girls and the very educated ones are not getting married in Mount Kenya. To who? Because the boys of their age, when they finish Form 4, the girl is at home and busy doing other things. But what happens to the boy? Enda kwa barabara ungane na wanaume wengine. So when he goes to the street to meet other men, they are drunkards, drug abusers, they are goons. This is where the boy belongs. And so most of our boys are ending up in graves very early, and others getting wasted, and others getting lost. And Bishop, we are in a mess. That one, our people can agree. If something is not done, we are in a mess.
You can agree with me. Me, I don't come from Central Province. I come from the Rift Valley. and from the Rift Valley and outside Central Province, the problem is the same.
It's the same.
Because I don't think it's a problem that started in Central. My mind goes back to 1995. 1995, there was a world conference in Beijing. About gender equality, and which was which was good, or good, well intended, but I think from there, the imbalance. We talked very much about uplifting the girl child to bring them to the same level. But as you said, it went beyond, and now instead of having a gender equality, we came in with what man can do, every woman can do.
You see, when women say what a man can do, a woman can do better, competing about what? Because we are all unique.
Yes.
Men will do things like now. If women would do better, like now we are doing the COVID season, when you go for funerals and you see the kind of speed our men can bury and do it very fast, and within a short time the place is very beautiful and they have done it. Women will not do that. But we go to the kitchen, men will be left watching how fast women can cook. So what are we competing about? We are unique and uniquely created, and I don't know what we could be competing about when we talk about a woman doing better than a man. We are just unique. Women will do women things in a unique manner. Men will do men things in a very unique manner. And this is the order of God. This is what is expected of God. But now you see, as you talk about the Beijing, you look at the many things that people keep quoting that were said about Beijing, and you ask, how practical are these things? You see, the society and the dynamism of the changing of the society are so much. You look at time like today, I've been following up issues with our lawmakers in parliament, because they are saying there is a law that needs to be amended in this country. Today, if a Form 3 boy of 18 years is in friendship with a 17-year-old girl of Form 3, 17-year-old, and this boy is 18, they are lovers and they are friends. Then by coincidence, this girl conceives. The law dictates the boy is jailed and the girl goes to school. So how fair are we to our children? And who told you it is not the girl who approached the boy? So we are trying to look at, now are we getting to a time where we look at both of them as children, judge their case. The other day there was a girl whose boyfriend was jailed. And she said if they jail him, they should also jail me, because I am his lover and I'm the one after him. So there's something we need to first start listening to, that the society has really changed and our eyes are now into women. Today, Bishop, if you walked to any county government or county office, go look for tenders. You and your wife. Bishop, you could qualify more than her. But I'm telling you, chances are very high she would get it and you miss it. Because it is like when we are to judge for both, the woman will get it right. So what are our men doing? They are withdrawing themselves. Then after withdraw, they are creating a lot of bitterness in them. After the bitterness in them, this is where you are seeing when they start reacting, they can do things we have never had in this country. We never used to hear of people who can cut the head of a wife, your own wife. It is the bitterness that is in these people, and this needs to be addressed. I'm also seeing the church failing our men. Because today, Bishop, as I speak to you, and the men of God out there, you realize our clergy gets concerned that Mama Shiro didn't come to church on Sunday. And we have to take some prayer to her place because something must be wrong. So on Wednesday, tunaenda kwa Mama Shiro for fellowship. Who cares? Baba Shiro has never even come the whole of this year. Who cares that he doesn't come? Nobody. But the church will be so concerned Mama Shiro did not come one Sunday. So you look at every setup in our society is about women. And now when we start talking of women can do better, when we start talking about Beijing, we are losing a mark. And I'm only asking, well, okay, our men, our people are saying, like I have heard the groups in the Kikuyu men saying that our men refuse to be giving advices to their boys. And I assess and I say, when did they ever used to give those advices? Because I think when you read the word of God, it's very clear in Proverbs that my son, never ever forget the rules of your father and the teachings of your mother. So it takes both. And Bishop, I've always been narrating to people the story of the people of Moranga, a story I researched. After independence, the people of the Wazes of Murang'a came to Nairobi. When they came to Nairobi, they left their wives in Murang'a and the children. And the children were not 3, they were not 4. They were 8, 10, 14, and even 16. Some was even 16. But you see what happened. These men came to look for money. And you see it used to be very dark around there because then the country had no electricity. But then there was some lights in Nairobi which at night could appear red. So these mothers kept telling their children, so many kwa nguvu, so that one day you will go to that town. They used to call it Kiama Tower. Kiama Tower is a place of light. You will go to that town and get your own money. That is what mothers used to tell their children. And Bishop, I would want you to do your research. Out of that, a better part of this town is owned by the people of Murang'a. Why? Because they were told it is possible, you can make it. They were never told by their fathers. They were not there. They were told by their mothers. So what changed now? What has changed? The setup of our society has changed. And now what we are playing is blame game. Because even mothers can make their boys to become men. And Bishop, I can tell you a story, and our listener, about my son, who was sometimes at a certain primary school here in Nairobi. And one time he came and the father was not there. He had gone to college in Uganda. So when the boy came, he was so hurt and you could see the bitterness in him. And he told me, he started crying. I asked him what has happened. He told me, oh, amenichapa. And I was like, who? Amenichapa. I looked at him and I said, amekuchapa kwa nini? Hata sijui alikuja tu akanigonga. Then I was like, kwa nini wewe haukumgonga? Si wanasema mimi ni mtoto wa pastor. So I was like, wewe sio pastor. Wewe ni mtoto wa pastor. And the other point I want you to know, wanaume hawachapagwi. Get to know wanaume si watu wa kuchapwa. Wanaume ni watu wa kuchapa. But usichokoze. Don't, because kuchokoza is bad. But a man is a defender of himself and other people. So if anyone hits you, hit back. Na usigonge kichwa, because then you can kill. Make sure you hit a point. Usigonge kichwa na usigonge this part za tumbo zenye unaweza umiza vibaya. Lakini akikugonga, hit back. So the boy was like, so naweza nipigana na yeye. Akikuchokoza, akuchape, mchape. Nikuje shule kesi ya kuchapana, sio ya kulichapwa. Wanaume wachapagwi. So the boy was like, he looked at me. And after some couple of months, there's a day he came shoulders high. Nimemutandika. I was like, nani? Nimemutandika. So I thought the boy got the point home.
Yeah.
And this is what we are now not telling our men. We are like trying to, we have a society that is saying, mtoto ni mtoto. It is true, mtoto ni mtoto. But Bishop, today, if something attacked us here, you can be sure both of us, me and Mama, will come to you. Why will we come to you instead of you coming to us? Because nature dictates that you are our security now when it gets to trouble. So why are we assuming when it is in other things you cannot be our security? And we want to go out of balance and wanting to assume there is nothing special about the boy child. There is something special about the boy child that God created. There is also something very unique about a woman that God created. And I think this is what we need to be talking about, Bishop. Talking about what is the special place of the woman, what is the special place of a man. Why are we not getting our man leading from the front? Especially in families, having our man having the say. Bishop, as we were growing up, and I believe we come from the same generation, we had mothers who really used to fight. And we really were used to be beaten. You come from that generation where we were beaten to a point that we didn't even know what we were supposed to do. We were beaten because you have been beaten and cried. Then you would be beaten because you have been beaten and you didn't cry. Then she will beat you. You are beaten because you did not finish food. Then you are beaten because you ate all the food. Sometimes we didn't know why we are being beaten. We were just there.
It was a way of life.
It was a way of life.
I think when they removed this issue of discipline, they brought in, that's when this thing crept in.
Yes.
and the responsibility part, or the God's order.
Yes.
Where man is created as the head. Now, when that order is interfered with, we get into a major problem.
And if you can remember, after all these mothers had beaten us that much, there's a quote they used to make: "Gojani baba yenu wakuje." You know, you wondered, what is the father going to do? Because now, after all this war, what does he expect the father to come and do? Most fathers never used to fight. But mothers made children understand there is a force above me. Akikuja mutaona. Like now, my father never used to fight. But he could insult us the way they had been insulted by Wazungu. The English insults. Like my father went to Kahuia, so every time he came and he was told what we had done, he could look at us and say, "Swine!" And it was like that. But you see, we never feared our mother the way we feared our father. Because this lady also brought us to an understanding that there's a force. There's another force up there that is higher than me, that can do greater than what I have done. And you see, so I've also come to this is my thinking, I don't know whether you'd agree with me, but I've also come to an understanding, like, father is a force that is supposed to be felt. Unfortunately, I am thinking this story can be told by the many widows we have out there. I have so many women friends who are widows. And I always like finding out from them this story. And it is like most of them tell me, mine was very stubborn. But I wish he was still around now to bother me. I wouldn't complain. Because what I've gone through ever since he left is more than what I went through when he was alive. There are those women who would tell you, I think I would not even mind him coming and being bedridden the way he was, and I take care of him. Because his presence in this home meant something. So this is where now I'm asking all of us, including you, who is our viewer, what is this that we are losing? And you need to write and tell us, because this is something we're going to research, all of us.
Yeah.
What is this that we are losing? That we are not able to understand that position that God placed the man, so that we're supposed to feel him, and feel when there is a father, there is peace. When there is a man around, there is a difference. And also make our children understand, because now we are having our girls. We just talked when we are off here with Mama Askofu, and she was asking me, do you have an idea of what is happening to our young families? What is it about our daughters and our sons? They're getting married today, tomorrow they are not together. And I was telling Mama, my small research is telling me our girls are not able to handle men. Because as we came from a society where we know that you don't provoke a man.
You don't even answer.
Don't provoke a man to anger. And I always tell people, you know, the Bible tells us these people were in the Garden of Eden with animals. We are never told for how long.
Yeah.
Some are more animals than the others. So we are telling our girls, don't provoke them to anger. This is why you see us, there are times we know we have been offended, but we would opt to go quiet until the situation comes and we know where to come in. Our girls are like, niuwe, jaribu, niuwe sahi, do it. And we know utawawa. Yes. If you could look at our camera girl who is a young mother, she's even showing it to me. She's showing me how they do it. This is us. Try me. This is how they are doing it. And she's actually demonstrating. Bishop, you're not looking at our camera girl. She's showing me how they do it. Try it. You see now, you don't provoke a man to anger. And provoking him kill me. He will kill you. Naga yatore guy. He will. And this is where we were seeing a lot of so many other things. And our girls are asking, why should I? I'm also a human being. Why should I go low? Why should I? But you see, in creation, we are created differently. The way we perceive things is very different. Because if today we sit with Mama Skofu, if you leave us to sit with this lady for the next few hours, 3-4 hours, by the time I leave this place, I will have half her life. She will have told me all her stories, how she got married to you, what she has gone through. I'll get all those stories. I will also have told her my life, and we will talk. By the time we leave this place, I know Mrs. Bishop Mark. But Bishop, do you know very few men will tell you a story? Even those we think are your close friends, like what is the name of this bishop?
Bishop Masinde.
Bishop Masinde. Who do you think is your very close friend? We have seen you walk with him all your life. He will tell very little about you.
We will talk about shambas.
About the church.
About the church.
And you see the church does not belong to you. It's there
about
for Christ.
some deacons in the church who are bringing some problems.
Yes.
About the money in the church.
Yes.
And about Sunday school.
And some shambas being sold.
Some shamba we want to buy.
Yes.
Others we are selling.
Yes.
And all that.
So women need to understand that men have a lot of burden in them. A burden that they don't throw out. Like now, the short time we have stayed with Mama Skofu, you wouldn't imagine the things we have talked. We even brought your daughter on board in the discussion. She also brought her story of their generation and their marriage. She talked about her marriage. And you know, the three of us are in different setups of marriage.
Yeah.
In less than 10 minutes, we had put our story, our short story of now, of me and her and your daughter. And we are done. But you since morning, what have you talked about? Like, you were talking about church, business, I don't know what.
The whole year.
Yes, and this is what your life is. So women have lesser burdens of life because when they talk, they heal. They continue healing. So when you are talking to a man, get to know you are dealing with somebody who is all self-contained with all his problems, his fears, his worries. He doesn't share with anybody. He's just there, and it is just about him. So when you start provoking and getting those things out of him, he will react. So Bishop, what I want us to ask ourselves, both me, you, Mama Skofu, and our listener, and our viewers who are watching us, I think this is a problem that all of us need to answer. Where did we get it wrong? What is this that we are not doing right that is making our men feel threatened in a society? Why is our man not able to handle an integrated woman, a woman who was a Mama Mboga and today is an MCA? Why is our man not able to handle that woman? If you do your research, most men have lost it because of fellow men. Yes, it's not because the woman is a threat. Okay, there are women who can also not humble themselves when they have money. But again, there are women who have tried their homes, but they cannot because of the fellow men who are friends to the husband. And men will come and tell you, oh, Bishop, so what does your wife do these days? And you're like, oh, she's gone everywhere. She's on social media. She's farming. She's doing this.
She's baking.
Yes, and she's going overseas. She's preaching all over. And your men friend are like, Bishop, what's your name? That is done. That one. And because of your ego, you don't want to tell her. You now start behaving funny to her. Because who sat our men who left women in the house when we were growing up, and not very many years ago, women were staying at home and men going to work and coming and bring food, and the women were taking care of the children. Who took our men to college to tell them now life has changed, all of us are going, and all of us are bringing food on the table? This is where you are seeing our girls, now this generation of our young girls, they are not understanding why I should bring my money on the table to share with my husband. Because to them, they have been brought up in the society that your money is our money.
Is our money.
Her money is her money. But your money is our money. And maybe you are earning kidogo. Your ego as a man will fight back. And this is what women need to understand. It will fight back for your position. You will still be fighting for your position. So a man with a very empowered woman will be fighting for a position, for a way. A woman will fight to assure this man that it is well. I may be where I am, but it is still well. And we are still on the same page. We are still together. But now we are in a society where when most women get empowered, they have the name, they have the money, they want the man to do. Like these girls now keep telling me, she doesn't understand why she has been to work all day. And a husband who lost his job has been at home and has done nothing. So the girl is expecting the man to fix the bed, clean the house, cook for her, do what women do when they are at home, and things add up. So I tell her, possibly I would say he will cook because he's supposed to, honestly. He can cook. He can make a cup of tea for you. He possibly could have made dinner because you're coming late. But that assumption of he will play the woman role because he is the man at home, that one is not going to happen. The other day I went to UK when I was talking to the Kenyan community. Actually, there were Kikuyus in the UK. And the women there are like, and they are there, I'm sure they are watching us. They are like, well, rather these men are not styling up. Because women, when they change that culture, they are now in UK. Within 3 months, women have changed their accent. They've changed their lifestyle. They just, you see, women will adjust to life, and they'll be good, and they are able to. Even we have Joyce here. Look at how long it has made her to style up to be a bishop's wife. It didn't take her long. She's there. She's the bishop's wife in charge of the Deliverance Church. And anacheza kama yeye. Yeah, she is. So I want to show you how women take position like we are here. But now, they are married to those very Kikuyu men who feel even changing an accent is a problem. So they don't want, they just want to be there. So the husband will speak that Kikuyu English. And the wife is like, "Kwa brother, hata kama unawatetea, listen to him. As yet to change accent." I'm like, he's not going to change. Number one, he wants you to know he is that near typical man, though in the UK. So I'm trying to make our women understand. Men don't just change. You cannot, even you, Bishop, from your experience, anytime you have started up a new congregation, very few men will come on board like today, tomorrow. You'll take time to convince them.
Yeah.
But today, Bishop, you start a church here, the next day women are there. Because men take time to observe, get to know your mission, what are you up to, are you a genuine man or what? Women are led by emotions. Let's go. Kuna mtumishi amekuja hapa. This way you're seeing women are getting wood. Yes, in the name of God. And they will lie to them. And the women will be there. But men will be like, who are you? What is your mission? So, Bishop, I'm saying these people our people need to first understand what are we talking about. Is this man in creation the same like woman? Like now when people are getting married, when you see a weakness in your girlfriend, when you are relating, men always think, when I marry her, she will change. And women think, when I get married, I will change him. Women think they will change him. Men think she will change. So both of you get into a relationship with different understandings. Nitamu change, and the man is, she will change. Then you realize over the years, hakuna anaweza change mwingine. So you start adjusting to your life because none is trying to change the other. So what are we talking about our relationships? It's about understanding one another, amplifying our strengths, and weakening our weaknesses and amplify the strength so that you deal with the strengths of the person. Because if you look at the weaknesses, then we will not be able to deal with that. But again, our men, women need to understand, men have an ego. An ego that tells them, and there's nothing we can do about it. It's by God's nature. By God's nature is like, you are the man and you're supposed to be felt. In as much as Joyce could be very smart and feeling smarter, and yes, I am there and I can speak even better English, but there is a point you would feel, I am the head of this family. And I need to be felt. In as much as you're not saying, something in you is telling you, you are the head of the family. So I'm asking our viewer and you, Bishop, where are we not getting it right? Because this is an assessment all of us will do. How are we going to get our boy back to where he's supposed to be and he will not be threatened? How are we going to get our boy in the 21st century understanding that now those women that were there to be left in the kitchen and to be dumped there and to listen to men are no longer there? How are our men going to deal with this kind of empowered women? And also, how are our women going to live in God's order of humility? That the man will love and the woman will, what do you call it? Submit.
Submit, yeah.
Our girls are looking at submission like a way of humiliating them. Why should I submit? They are feeling like either of us can. He can also submit. How do you expect a man with his own ego submit to a woman? He will not. And this is why now they will start provoking. Once they provoke, now what we are seeing. Watu wanasema unamwekea mkia. So that he steps on it and you have something to pick war on. So we are trying to say, can we look at God's order, all of us, and try to understand how you deal with the man? How do we get our boy back to where he belonged? Because today, you go even to a police station. If a woman would stay here, like now if we would sit here, me and mama and we scream, scream, you are not there. Because I don't want to use a bishop for a bad example. If both of us screamed right now, and these people down there came up here, and we tell them, this guy wants to rape us. Do you know they will not listen to him? Yeah. They will not. He's a rogue. The next thing he will be at Kamukonji explaining. It could be a make-up story. But this boy, na hata ongelea nje ya counter, he will speak from inside. Because for sure they are sure they will get him in. So how much are we oppressing our boy to a point that he feels like not part of the society? If a policeman meets a boy who has not combed his hair, yule tu aliyemua hata chanua, hana belt, he's just untidy. He's labeled. This is a chinkororo, this is mongeke, this is just because he didn't comb his hair. The next place is in the police station. Why are we judging our boy like today? Any man we meet who is not in a suit is a criminal. Yes, any man walking around, Bishop, like now you can walk in, even in this curfew season. You can walk up and down this town. Nobody will talk to you. You are smart. You are in a suit. Any other boy who doesn't comb his hair walks down this street is a rag. So our boys are like, where do we belong? Are we as a society harsh to our children? Are we as a society not now making our men understand? How are we bringing them up at home? Are we mothers also failing as we bring up our boy? Are we showing them the position of a man? Are we telling them, in as much as you learn to cook, in as much as you learn to make your bed, because you're leaving my house very soon, in as much as you learn to clean your house, am I trying to man you up to also understand that this will not make you a woman? You will also have to be in charge of your family. Most girls are complaining today. Ati hata wakienda kwa hoteli. Men are seated there waiting for the girls to pay. Unlike our times where men had to pay to be felt they are the men. Today they sit there. Because the government they know is the government of women. Today, Bishop, you go to a meeting, even at a funeral or a wedding. Look at how people come in. Women come and take the front seats. There are men who even came earlier, but they will not take the front seat. They know they have owners. The owners are coming, the women. So why are our men now taking this as a lifestyle? That it's about them as we sit here. Go late to any funeral. Do you know men don't attend funerals anymore? They sit at the gate. This is funeral causes za nyumbani. They sit at the entrance. You've gone to funerals late.
Well, I've conducted.
All the men are out there. Then you wonder, where do these people even ever get information from? Because now they are out there. They did not hear what people are saying. You go home with the wife is telling you, ulisikia vile huyo mhubiri alisema? The husband is like, wapi? He was at the funeral. He was at the gate. You go for weddings, our men are at the gate. Bishop, you go for those dowry ceremonies which are purely Kikuyu, which are purely in Kikuyu and all those other cultures, are men function. Women just go. You go, they eat. After they have eaten, before negotiation starts, all the men have left. They are at the gate. How will they even know how negotiations are even done in the future? So is this where we are losing them? That they are never part of what we are doing. Yet, the senior men, now your age, are still not concerned. You go for a dowry ceremony, Bishop, you are seated there, you see all the boys walking away. You don't question, because ikifika wakati wa kuimba, wamama wako, wanaimba. Ikifika wakati wa kuenda, mko na wazee wawili for negotiations. So what is our future? Where are the men who will sit where you are seated for negotiations tomorrow? These are the questions we need to ask ourselves. And I think this is what God laid in me, of asking ourselves when we lost them. Like now, in Kikuyu land, we are now getting, I don't know, was this now circling themselves and calling themselves the Kikuyu elders and Shiamas and everything. They are my friends. But I always tell them, do you know, Bishop, those things are insecurity hideouts. They have nothing. We are just insecurity hideouts. And I was doing a research the other day, and I read something in the books. Something told me that we started losing our men in the 50s. And nobody realized. Because they said, people went for this independent war.
Mau Mau.
Mau Mau. When they went for Mau Mau, there was the issue of Muma and all those things. When they came back after independence, there was the issue of revival, East African Revival Fellowship. Was then wamama wameokoka. So wameokoka si ni watu wa kubura. What do you call kubura? Confession.
Confession.
You confess. So the mama had to confess. So who is confessing? They refused. So they said, if it is about confession, acha hiyo kanisa ikae, hatutasema, because we would say. So we lost a whole bunch of men. Then all along we have come a long way. We've come losing our men all the way. Then we do Beijing, we lose another bunch. Then we continue. Today you go to church. Bishop, as we were growing up, I know we've grown up in the same generation. You remember we used to have churches where this side was of men and this side of women. And both sides were full.
Yeah.
Today, which church do you go to and it's full of men?
Now even the women have come to the side.
Women have come to the side of men. So where did they go? Don't you think there's something that is not adding up? So who is getting concerned? Who is asking us? Because I said this is not a debate about us. It is us and our viewer. Our viewer here, both in Kenya and outside Kenya, where did we get it wrong? Are we going the Western style, where the man in the English life is... The English men tell me, the Kenyans in the English community are telling me, the reason why they suffer with their wives is because in the Western countries, women are given the very first priority. The number 2, children. No, the children are first. Number 2, women. Number 3, cats. Number 4, dogs. Then the other, they will think about this boy here now.
Number 5.
Yes, number 5. So our men in the West are feeling, they are getting culture shock. Where now they go and they have to let the women be. And our women are feeling the sweetness of being so protected. So you are seeing our girl there, feeling, jaribu, uniguze, niitane, urudishwe nyumbani. Today, you're going to be deported. I will live my life. But is that all that can sort our lives? Oh, I'm talking to both our people, our Kenyan and our international viewers. I don't know, because this is something that God has laid, and I feel it within me that this is the question we need to ask ourselves. In as much as you could be writing, commenting, and saying everything, you also hold a responsibility of telling us, where are we not getting it right? Because all of us have our own ideas. Now that I have highlighted all these, I am sure there are people who are saying, by the way, this is what has happened. By the way, this is what is happening. Because like you look at now Kenya today, and Bishop, I know this one you can relate with. All women are born again. You rarely find a woman who is not born again. All, regardless of where they got born again and when, the women are born again. If it is a matter of kusalimiana, hata mimi nimeokoka. But for men, you know, when we were growing up, we used to have 3 categories of people in church. The born again, the not born again, and the backsliders. Bishop, I don't know whether you have had backsliders in the recent past. They are not there.
They are not there.
They are not there because the born agains are doing what they want in the born again. They are not backsliding. Those who are used to backslide and go back to the world and do the things of the world. Today the born again are doing things of the world, still in the born again. And you see now, when they have issues in families, where do the men go to? Because even when they are coming to you, this woman who comes to you is the chairlady of your women in the church. So Bishop, for sure you know, and the husband does not come to church, so for sure this husband is a rogue. So this woman will come to you, Bishop, bwana yangu, nataka uniombe, mama askofu tafadhali, mume wangu ako hivi, and she will, and women can put emotions together, and Bishop, you really feel it. What will the boy child do? He has no emotions to come and show you. So he will stay there, judge it, as it is said, guilty as charged, because nobody is listening to him, because we are ignoring creation. Women will bring their emotions, and you look at it, Bishop, and you really feel, you mean he did that? If you listen to our women, there's a program in one of our radio stations in this country that is really followed by women. I don't want to really mention, but I know you relate with it. And women are on that program every morning, not to get answers or solutions, but consolation. Women call. It's a radio station in this country. Have a big following of our young mothers. Good morning. The guy on the other side, the hosts of the show, always tell women, talk to me, darling. And women are like, imagine, he came last night at midnight. You know what he did? He came drunk. I don't know, he did what? This other guy, you mean he can do that, sweetheart? You see now it's darling, sweetheart. And then the ladies continue. You know what he did? And the guy is like, sweetheart, you still in the same relationship? And the girl is like, imagine. No, you need to think about it, darling. Look at it seriously, darling, and you need to think about it and ask yourself, are you on the right track? Do you know what women do? They pick their handbags and go to work. He has gotten consolation, darling, sweetheart. Considering mwanaume ako kwa nyumba anaitana I'm sure all of you are able to relate with the program. And especially the young mothers out there can relate with the show. Bishop may be left out. But the rest of the viewers and the people, even Mama is able to relate with the program. As you can see, your camera guys are very excited because that is the show they listen to. But the guy behind there offers no answers. He just calls them good names. Talk to me, darling. You mean he can do that, sweetheart? Oh, I feel for you, honey. So I'm also asking ourselves, are men not able to give that manly love to our women so that they also reciprocate to submission? And this is why I told you, Bishop, I've never gotten an answer to this issue. As much as I've debated it for the last 5 years, I'm still not at the answer. I would want to listen to these people. And they tell us, even these audiences who follow you, let them tell us, where did we get it wrong? How can, because also, I always tell women, they ask me, why, brother, are you always talking for men? And I am like, do you have a son? So they tell me, oh, yes, I have two. So I ask her, do you want your son to be a rogue? No. Do you want your son to be as useless as you've seen them? No. Do you want your son to be frustrated by a woman? No. Then start also by not frustrating the other woman's son. Because even that old one, like now Joyce should understand that you are also another woman's son.
Exactly.
Yes, as much as you are that old, you are also another woman's son. So when she frustrates the other woman's son, why would somebody else somewhere frustrate her own son? Because in this world, people always say when we get to heaven, but I think when we get to heaven, Bishop, and I know you teach these things, we'll have squared some of these things down here. So that when we get to heaven, because you frustrate somebody else's son and you expect your sons, you know they will learn from you. They have seen how their father is frustrated. Like you see girls getting married, you will hear girls saying, oh, I'll take care of my husband the way my mother takes care of my father. Because that is what I have seen. I want to get married and be happy the way I see my mother in her marriage. But there are those girls who say, kama marriage ni ile ya mama yangu. Not me. I don't have that time. So I'm asking ourselves, even us as parents, are we role modeling to our sons how to become good fathers and good husbands? Because, Bishop, the way you treat mama is the way your son will treat their wives.
Exactly.
You treat your wife with disrespect. That is how they will learn, because they know women are objects to be mistreated. But if you treat them nicely, your son would want, I would want to one day get married and treat my wife the way my dad used to treat my mother. So who is this that is not passing on information? Is it us? Did we fail somewhere that we're not able to tell our sons this is what it is to be a man?
I think what I'm picking this question. Where have we missed it? Where have we gone wrong? That it's a question that needs a corporate, requires a corporate responsibility and a corporate thinking. That we need to sit down and put our minds together and see this is where we missed, where we went wrong. And I also see the murder of the male ego.
Yes.
That the male ego, having been murdered, we are having zombies.
Yes.
Because naturally, God gave men the ego as part of his identification or identity.
Yes.
Now this has been murdered or is suppressed, and we need to think for ways of how do we build the male ego. How do we build our men? How do we encourage our men?
Yes.
And I from what you have said, is that this viewer here has an answer. Every one of us should stop seeing ourselves as victims, and we see ourselves as solution givers.
Yes.
So each one of us, unfortunately our time is so much gone. It's so much gone. I think we'll definitely have to create another time when we can have Ms. Muratha come, and so we can continue with this discussion.
But you have brought in a very strong point. We have killed the ego.
Yes.
So how can we bring it back to life, but now with some orderliness? It's not an ego to come and destroy, but an ego with a balance.
And that is the burden, or that's the burden I want to throw to our audience, and say to you, we would like to continue with this discussion. We're not going to end it today. We would like to continue with this discussion with Ms. Muratha, but we want your response. We want your views. How do we build the male ego? Now, this is not from the men only or from the women only. It's from all of us, because our society is rotten. Our society is going down. And if we don't rise up, we will regret. So right there where you are, you sit down and write, send a comment, send a text message, and tell us, this is what we need to do to build our male ego, so that this coming week we can continue with this discussion and get your views, get what you have observed and what you have said. And for now, Ms. Muratha, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
You have educated us a lot, and I'm sure our viewers are very excited about this.
Yes.
I would just make a public request that we continue with this coming Wednesday, so that we get the feedback from the viewers.
Yes.
Then with the feedback, we will bring in the wisdom of God in it and return the river. How do you say it in Muranga? Mukaro, returning the river to the cattle, to the trench, or to the coast. So
thank you so much. It was also nice hosting me. Thank you for also giving me an opportunity to teach you. You've taught me for many years. I'm glad to have also gotten an opportunity to teach you.
Thank you,
Yes,
thank you so very much.
And thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, tonight the discussion was for us. We were just listening. So Joyce was not able to talk because both of us were listening, and we were students. We were being taught. But we will be there this coming Wednesday. Please don't miss the program this coming Wednesday. This is open talk. You talk or I talk. We hear one another. I hope that you have gotten something, and you are going to communicate to us, and you are going to send your feedback so that we can be able to help somebody. If we can help two, just two, it will be a big blessing.
Yes.
Or if we can help 1,000, or whatever the number, it will be a big blessing. And who knows whether God has put us in the kingdom for a time such as this, so that the boy child can rise up again. There is hope, my friend. I said there is hope. Man, don't fight. Don't even quarrel. There is hope. Maybe you have been having tensions in the family. There is hope. We will be coming to you again this coming Wednesday. Thank you so much. May the Lord richly bless you. May you have a super night. May this be your best week ever. And thank you so much again, Ms. Muratha, for coming to be with us. God bless you. We really appreciate it. God bless you and have a good night.